please pay attention when I cover today's chapter. Why? Because I just want to tell you, if you study operations management, you must know lean. Because every operation today, whether it's a product company, whether it's a service company, they must make sure they're as lean as possible. Yeah. And when you study operations management, one more time, lean is something that we always talk about in operations. Yeah. So please pay attention, because I don't want you to basically learn this module, operations management, and when someone talk to you about lean, you say, I do not know anything about lean. Then it doesn't make sense. Yeah, because lean is always part of operations management, a very important part of operations today. Yep. So today we're going to cover very in depth. Yesterday, if you remember, in supply chain, I told you we use a pull method and we must be lean. Okay, but today we're going to really go into how lean can be achieved in operations management. So what we're going to cover today, number one, is firstly tell you what lean operations mean. Secondly, I'll make you understand what is Muda, Mura, and Muri in lean operation. As you can see, of course, Muda, Mura, Muri are not English words, they are Japanese words. Why we use Japanese term in lean operation? Because the Japanese are the one that did a lot of things in operations management, in quality management, in lean operations as well. So, and let me tell you, they do a very good job. That's the reason the whole world use the same thing today. Okay, don't worry, these are Japanese words, but later I'm going to explain to you in English. The third thing I'm going to cover today, I'm going to cover how companies can eliminate 7 ways in order to make their operations very, very lean. And the last thing I'm going to cover today, I'm going to cover how companies can implement 5 R's in order to make their operation very lean. Okay, don't worry if you do not understand what I just mentioned in this number 1, 2, 3, 4. But this is what I'm going to cover in today's topic. So guys, let me start off. By explaining what is lean operation in the first place. Lean operations means moving towards the elimination of all ways in order to develop an operation that is very, very fast, that is more dependable, which means you can trust that this operation will be successful, that produces high quality products, that whenever we make product high quality the first time, and services, and product and services, and above all, we try to save money as much as possible. So guys, in other words, lean basically means achieving more with less, as less as possible. And less of what? Which means in a company's operation, we use less time, we use less people, we use less machineries, we use less effort in order to make sure that in the end we still produce whatever that we want to sell to the customer. So the main thing about lean is less. So you can see over here that we use less human effort, less equipment, machineries, tools, less time, even less space. Don't use so much of space, less space, coming close to providing customers exactly what they want. Yeah, so that's called lean operation. In simple terms, using as less as possible and giving customers exactly what they need. And guys, we don't give customer more, we don't give customer less as well. Whatever the customer need, we give. So for example, I have a customer who orders something from me, and I'm going to make sure that in the end I use less time, less effort, less people, less money, less equipment, less machineries, and give customer just whatever they need. Yeah, and that's what we call lean operation. But you may ask me, when Apple make iPhone, how can they be lean? Because the customer never order iPhone. Yeah. So if just say for example Apple, when they make an iPhone, as you can see from this picture over here, what they do is they will decide what quality iPhone they want to produce in order to become better than their competitor. What is the quality of iPhone do they want to produce? Yeah. So they decide the quality so that their quality is much better than their competitor, so that of course Apple can sell. So once they have decided this certain quality, they have designed already, what they do is when they manufacture their iPhone, if you see from this picture, they can use less machineries, they use less machinery. If they can use less people, they use less people. If they can make sure that in the end they use less time and less effort and make this iPhone that quality that they wanted, that they are better than their competitor, then they sell and people buy, that is what they want. Because of course, customers do not order iPhone. Apple just make and then just start to sell. But of course, they must know the demand of the customer. Yeah. So if a customer really orders something from me, I'm going to make according to the customer's requirement. But the customer never orders something from me, to become better than my competitor, I'll make sure I design something which I'm better. Then based on that, I just use less, and then I sell this product in the marketplace. Yeah. So that's what we call lean operation. Lean operation is also part of the pull method. So in lean operation, we don't use push method. This is, you can see the push method. You can see this is stage A of the production. Then sometimes they got buffer inventory. They make more. Then they go to stage B. They make more, some more. Then they go to stage C. Then all these are wasted because they make more products, no use, because they use a push method. So lean operation is exactly what I covered yesterday. Is based on supply chain management as well. It's the same thing. We use pull method. So we must know what our customer wants first. Then we know what the information of the order is. Then we just use less, and make sure in the end we make our product according to customer requirement. That there's no inventory here, there's no inventory here. Yeah. So one more time, lean operation is part of pull method. It is definitely not a push method. Yeah. So that is something important to note in lean as well. There are 4 elements of lean. The first element is waste elimination. Waste elimination means we try not to have any kind of wastage. Yeah, that we don't waste time, we don't waste effort, we don't waste money, we don't do rework as well. Which means whatever we do it right the first time. Because if just say I'm a company, I manufacture a product, in the end I manufacture a product which is not working, then I need to do rework. Rework means I need to do again to make this product working again. Yeah, and when I do rework, I waste time, I waste effort, I waste money. So one more time, the first element of lean, which is very, very important, it is waste elimination. We eliminate all the waste. The second element of lean operation is behavior. Behavior basically means, behavior basically means all employees play a part and they behave in a certain way that in the end we use less. Which means from a very low level employee to a supervisor, to a manager, to the CEO of the company, whatever they decide and whatever the things in order to make the company product, everybody have lean into them. Even the designer, when they design a product, they must design that this product don't use so many raw material, it's easy to manufacture, etc. They must have lean inside of them. Then only we can have lean operation. So everyone must behave as part of lean. The third element of lean is synchronization. Synchronization basically means there's high coordination, communication between man and man, man and machine, and machine and machine. Because if you don't synchronize, you find that a lot of time will be wasted. So there must be a lot of synchronization in whatever we do. Then you find that one person do something, give to another person do something, give to machine do something, give to another machine do something, give to human. So there must be a lot of synchronization. And the fourth element of lean is customer focus. Guys, customer focus basically means we must know what the customer need, then we do something according to that customer need. As I mentioned just now, we don't give customer more, we don't give the customer less. We just give customer whatever they need, that's all. Yeah, okay, so these are four very simple elements, four main elements of lean. Waste elimination, behavior, synchronization, and customer focus. Anyone have any questions so far? Okay, if no question, thank you very much. Okay, I hope you have now understood what lean is. Simple term, as less as possible to give customer only what they need. Yeah, don't waste time, don't waste effort, don't waste money, don't waste people, don't waste equipment, machineries, tools. Make sure that then we use whatever just nice, as less as possible to produce as high output as possible. So to produce whatever customer requirement based on the output. Okay, the next part of the lesson, let me cover as part of lean operation, what does muda, mura, and muri mean. Again, these are, as you can see written over here, muda, mura, and muri are Japanese terms conveying and try to make sure that these do not exist in their operation. Okay, never mind, don't worry, I know you don't understand, but let me explain to you what is muda, mura, and muri. Okay. Muda basically are activities in a process that are wasteful because they do not add value to the operation or the customer. This is basically when company use more input than what is required. And actually the customer do not require it, so they use more. You find that in the end, you're of course going to waste a lot. Since you use more, like you're going to waste more time, more effort, more money, or whatever it is, but actually your customer don't require. So that's called muda. Mura, on the other hand, means lack of consistency or unevenness that result in periodic overloading of staff or equipment. Mura basically means there's inconsistency. Sometimes you use more, sometimes you use less. Sometimes you use more, sometimes you use less. So there's inconsistency. And one more time, we need to eliminate mura as well. Yep. The third one is called muri. Muri means absurd or unreasonable. It is based on the idea that unnecessary, unreasonable requirements are put into process that will result in poor outcome. In simple terms, muri basically means there's absurd, unreasonable, overburden, overuse of resources causing harm or failure. This is using something too much, overburden, overuse. Yeah, and it's no good as well. If I were to give you a simple example of muri, it's like I have an employee that's supposed to work 8 hours per day, but make this employee work 12 hours per day. Of course, this employee on the 10th, 11th hour, when do the work, will start to make low quality work. And in the end, we have to do again wasted. Yeah, so that's what we call muri, which is overburden, overuse. Okay, you still may not 100% understand muda, mura, and muri. So let me tell you what, let me use a picture, a graphical picture to explain to you muda, mura, and muri. Okay, please pay attention. Guys, just say for example, I'm a company, I need to transport 6 tons of boxes somewhere, maybe to a customer or whatever it is. And my 6 ton consists of 1 ton, 1 ton, 1 ton, 1 ton, 1 ton, 1 ton. So it consists of 6 boxes. Each box is 1 ton. I need to transport 6 tons. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tons of boxes. 6 ton total, 1 ton each of box to somewhere. And when I use the vehicle to transport, you know what I do? I use a 3-ton vehicle. So this vehicle can take 3 tons. But you know what I do? On one vehicle, I put 2 tons. Another vehicle, I put another 2 tons. Another vehicle, I put another 2 tons. So guys, I use more than what is required. So this is called muda. So it's wasted because actually I don't need to use 3 vehicles. I'm sure you can understand. Because I have a vehicle which is 3 tons. Why am I only putting 2 tons over there? Yeah. So guys, this is one vehicle wasted, fuel wasted, a driver wasted, and so on. Yeah, so I use more than what is required. That's called muda. Now let me tell you what is mura. Mura basically means there's unevenness, sometimes more, sometimes less. So let me use the same example. Just say I'm a company, I need to transport 6 1-ton boxes to somewhere, and I use a 3-ton vehicle. And you know what I do? On one 3-ton vehicle, I put 4 tons, and on another 3-ton vehicle, I put 2 tons. So can anyone tell me what will happen to these two vehicles? Let's say this 4-ton one is vehicle number 1, and this 2-ton one is vehicle number 2. Can anyone tell me what will happen to these two vehicles? Anyone? Unfair. Okay, what else? Vehicle number 1 is with 4 ton, vehicle number 2 is with 2 ton. What will happen to both the vehicle when I transport? The first vehicle will reach the destination faster, and so the first vehicle will reach the destination slower because it's 4 tons on a 3-ton vehicle. The second vehicle will reach the destination faster. And Prisma, you're correct. Vehicle 1 is overloaded a little bit. And as vehicle number 2, Wei Cheng 1, you're correct. Space is wasted there. So you find that there's unevenness. Yeah. Okay, that's called mura. Thirdly, let me explain what is muri. Muri basically means overburden or overload. So let me use the same example. If I'm a company, I need to transport 6 1-ton boxes to a certain location, and no, I use a 3-ton vehicle, but I put 6 tons on one vehicle. So this is a 3-ton vehicle, I put 6 tons on this vehicle. So can anyone tell me what will happen to this vehicle? There are 22 of you log in. I want to see you all answering. Not so difficult, just to type a little bit of words. I always tell students, don't worry if your answers are wrong. We are here to learn. And I never penalize students whose answers are wrong. I always encourage students. So Sir Ng J, you say overloaded and danger. Okay, yeah, definitely. What else? The rest. Okay, I think Sir J, you sum it all up. Reach the destination very, very late. So Trisma, you're correct. It's not just late, it's very, very late. Eugene, you said vehicle will break down. Manish, you said the vehicle definitely will not reach on time because you can see it's 3 ton only, but you put 6 ton, you're going to drag the vehicle. So guys, let me tell you in summary what will happen to this vehicle. All of you are correct. This vehicle, it will drive at the beginning, will drive very, very slow, but since it's overloaded, you find that in the end, the engine will become overheat because the engine actually can handle 3 tons only. The engine will overheat, you will catch fire, and you are unable even to deliver. Yeah, because there's overburden or overloading. So guys, will be fine and penalty. Exactly. In Singapore, we have a lot of rules and regulations. So the traffic police will drive and say, how come 3-ton vehicle you put 6 ton on top? So thank you very much, Wee Cheng Wen. Definitely will be fined by the traffic police because in Singapore it's not allowed. Yeah. So guys, what I think you can understand by now, Muda, Mura, and Muri, what this company should do is if they want to transport the 6 ton, let me just show you. Very simple. What they should do is use 2 3-ton vehicle. On one 3-ton vehicle, they put 3 ton. On another 3-ton vehicle, they put 3 ton. So guys, once they do this, they have eliminated Muri, Mura, and Muda. So you can see I have eliminated Muda because instead of using 3 vehicles, I only use 2 vehicles. I've eliminated Mura. There's no unevenness. Now there's evenness. There's 3 ton here, 3 ton here on a 3-ton vehicle. And guys, I've eliminated Muri as well. You can see there's no overburden. Because this is a 3-ton vehicle and I put 3 tons down there. So just by doing this, I've eliminated all 3. Yeah. Okay, every company One more time, as part of their operations, they must make sure that they try to eliminate and do not have muda, mura, and muri. Okay, I hope you guys are fine. Let's continue. Now let me cover 7 ways that company must eliminate in their operations as well in order to have lean operation. The 7 ways, by the way, number 1 is overproduction, number 2 is transportation, number 3 is motion, number 4 is waiting time, number 5 is overprocessing, number 6 is inventory, and number 7 is defects. So every company must eliminate these 7 ways. One more time, eliminate means get rid of. These 7 ways in order to make the operation very, very lean. The 7 ways are the root of all unprofitable activity and all tools of lean production that should be focused on getting rid of these ways. So every company, whatever operation that they are in, whether they are product company or whether they are service company, I hope you know what I mean by product and service company. Apple is a product company, Sony is a product company. Service companies are, for example, like airlines, hotels, restaurant, they are service company because they don't sell a certain product. Yeah. So every company, even like a hotel when they operate, or even for example like Apple when they make iPhones or whatever products, they must eliminate these 7 ways in order to be very lean. Okay. Of course, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain to you these 7 ways one by one. Guys, please pay attention. The first ways that every company must eliminate is what we call overproduction. Overproduction, needless to say, basically means producing more than what is required. So overproduction, let me tell you, is the worst kind of waste because it causes other waste and obscures the need for improvement. One more time, overproduction means producing more than what is required. Let me just give you one example of overproduction. Just say, for example, I'm a mobile phone company. Every week I sell 100 mobile phones. But you know what I do? I make 150 per week. So I actually only sell 100 only. But when I manufacture 150. Then for this week I sell 100. What happened to the other 50? I put in my warehouse. Then next week again I only sell 100 but I manufacture 150. Then I sell 100. What happened to the other 50? I put in my warehouse. Guys, these which I put in my warehouse, I put there, I may not use it. And one day it become obsolete. In the end, you find that I waste many other things. That's why it's written here, overproduction is the worst kind of waste. You know why? When I overproduce, I have used more raw material. I have used more people to make this extra that I never sell. I use more machines and so on. I use time and so on in order to overproduce. That in the end, did not give me any kind of benefit. So it's the worst kind of waste. So this is something that the company must eliminate. They should not have overproduction. They should just produce just nice whatever the customer order or whatever my customers needs are. So if, for example, if I know that every week my customer buy 100 mobile phone, I produce 100 to sell 100. I produce 100 to sell 100. I produce 100 to sell 100. If I want, I can have a bit of buffer. I can make 5 extra. Yeah? And if I make 5 extra, the next week, if these 5 are not sold, I'm going to make 95. So I can take these 5 and sell. Maybe I make 1 extra or 2 extra. Yeah? So guys, if possible, I make 0 extra. If I really know that only 100 people buy, then I'm not going to make even extra. So I can make some buffer if I want, but not too much. Yeah. Okay. So every company must eliminate overproduction. So overproduction many a times is caused by large batch sizes, which means company just make one batch, they make one batch, they make one batch, they don't know how to make adjustment. Yeah. Where one batch is, they make 150 mobile phone, 150, they keep making 150, but actually they only require 100. Also unreliable process. Some process you just make, and you don't realize that you find that oops, you made too much. So these are unreliable processes then you never monitor, it just manufacture and you keep making. Yeah. Unstable scheduling as well. You never schedule things properly, then you find that you make too much. Unbalanced cells and or department. This is when one department make too much, then another department continue also make too much, another department also make too much. You find at the end you have overproduction. Yeah. And this is, for example, there's inaccurate information, not an actual demand, which means I don't even know how much my customer buy and I just anyhow manufacture. Which means I use the push method, I push, then oops, I got overproduction. Yeah. Okay, so guys, this is the first ways that every company must eliminate. It's the worst kind of waste. It is called overproduction. The second waste that company must eliminate is called transportation. Guys, transport waste is material movement that is not directly associated with value-added process. The very important word here, can you look at the screen, is material movement. This is not human movement, but material movement. That we make material move from one location to another location, to another location, to another location, but there's no value add. In the end, it does not contribute to something that you give to your customer. Yeah. So let's look at this picture and let me explain to you transportation waste. Just say this is a manufacturing plant. You can see there's one machine over here and there's one machine over here. Yeah. And the raw materials maybe are in a storeroom over here. So in order to manufacture a certain product, they get a forklift driver and a forklift from the storeroom, transport this material to station number 1 to manufacture. After station number 1 manufacture, this need to go to station number 2 to continue the manufacturing. And what we need to do is we need to get a forklift and a forklift driver to take this station number 1, whatever has been done, transport to station number 2. Then station number 2 start to do the work, then you make the final product. So guys, you find that here there's transportation waste because I need a forklift driver and a forklift to transport, then to transport again, but in the end, it makes the same product. There's no value add. So guys, how can I eliminate transportation waste? Process should be as close together as possible and material flow directly from one process to another process without any significant delay in between them. So guys, what can I do in this case? Very, very simple. Since your storeroom is over here, why put this machine so far? Just put this machine beside the storeroom. Then you can just take the raw material and start to manufacture. And why put station number 2 so far? Just put beside station number 1, then they can just transport. No need to really transport, just put it there and they make and the final product is made. Yeah. So many a times the reason we have transportation waste is because you find that we put things too far. Yeah. So it is very important that we make sure that we put things near as possible. So excess transportation waste is caused by poor layout, which means there's large distance between operation. So the layout is very poor. I think your usual lecture taught you one topic on layout as well. Yeah. So a company must make sure they have a proper layout, and there are many different ways we can do a layout in order to make sure that in the end, material do not spend too much of time in transportation. Sometimes there's lengthy or complex material handling system. Sometimes your material handling system is very, very lengthy, very, very complicated, and that's the reason you move materials too much. Or large batch sizes as well. We make a large batch size, then you find that you need to transport this to the warehouse. Then you make large batch size, you need to store it to the warehouse, then you take from the warehouse again. So there's a lot of transportation. Why make too much? Make just nice, then you don't have to store in the warehouse. Also working at faster rate than customer demand, you do things too fast, you have your final product, but customer not ready to take order yet. So not ready to take delivery yet. They need to transport and store, then transport and deliver next time. Again, got transportation waste. Or some companies have multiple storage location. Some company, they have one storage location, another storage location, another storage location, then they go into production. Yeah. So why have so many? Because you transport, then you produce. So maybe just have one big storage location, then you just transport rather than multiple small one in order to eliminate transportation waste. Yeah. So guys, every company must make sure that they eliminate transportation waste as much as possible. One example of a company, if I can tell you, that eliminate transportation waste is IKEA. Guys, IKEA, they don't have a showroom and a warehouse separately. Many companies, they have a showroom where maybe they sell the products, but where are all their products? In a warehouse? They have a warehouse in a separate location. Then when customer buy, they need to transport from the warehouse to the showroom and then sell it to the customer. Then transport and sell it to the customer. They need to transport their warehouse to the shop. So guys, if you have been to IKEA, Singapore, we have two IKEAs, one in Tampines and one in Alexandra. Guys, if you, in any country, not just Singapore, if you go to IKEA, you find that the warehouse and the shop front is in the same location. So you find that the shop front where the showroom is, you go to IKEA, you see, then you want to buy, you go and pick up yourself, the entire warehouse is over there. Yeah? Then you go and pick it up and you buy. So where the warehouse is, where the showroom is, their warehouse is also there. That is their strategy. So they reduce transportation waste tremendously. And guys, that's the reason if you go to any country, an IKEA store, like in Singapore, they will never locate in Orchard Road. Because in order to have a warehouse and their showroom in the same location, if they go to Orchard Road, the rental is too expensive. So that's the reason they always go to outskirts. That the rental is cheaper, and you find that in the end they have both at the same location. Okay, so that's just a very good example of how IKEA eliminate transport waste. Okay, so I covered overproduction and transport. The third waste that company must eliminate is what we call motion. Motion is the movement of humans. Yeah. So just now transportation waste is the movement of materials, but motion is the waste of human. Guys, if you look at this picture, there's this guy, I do not know what kind of work he's doing, but doesn't really matter. He's doing some kind of work, and can you look at me? He's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this, he's doing this. It's too much of motion. Yeah. Let me tell you, after 2 hours, he's going to be very tired. He'll start to slow down to do the work because he's from high, need to do this. So guys, why make the handlebar so high? Yeah. So maybe this rod, can you look at the screen? They can make it shorter, no need to be so long, make it shorter, and the handlebar lower here. Yeah. So what you do is you do this, less of motion. So use less time, less effort, will be less tired, high quality as well, and will be able to produce whatever customer need. Yeah. So that's what we call motion. So every company must make sure they try to eliminate motion as much as possible. Guys, one example I can give you of a company that eliminate motion tremendously is McDonald's. Guys, I just want to tell you, McDonald's, they design their restaurant in such a way that each person, they only walk 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to do some work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. No person will work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 steps and then come back and do this kind of work, walk 10 more steps and come back. No, they design each person. If I'm a cashier, I'm the customer service representative, most I work 4 steps in order to do my work. If another person who makes French fries, most of worst case, they walk 4 steps in order to do their work. Yeah. Okay, this is what actually they're designed to do. But maybe you go to a McDonald's in Singapore, you see this fellow is walking. They are doing the wrong thing. Because McDonald's in USA, let me tell you, that is what they designed it to be. And if you go to USA, each one walk only 4 steps maximum. So they eliminate motion waste because they don't want that people have to walk here, walk there, walk here, walk there. It can cause accidents as well, use more time and so on. Okay, so that is one example of a company, a very good example that eliminate motion waste. So I covered overproduction, transport, and motion. The fourth waste that company must eliminate is what we call waiting time. Waiting time basically is between a process when it is not synchronized. You find that one machine or one person have to wait in order to do the job. So waste of waiting time is an idle time produced when two interdependent processes are not synchronized. Either man and man, the work is not synchronized, or either man and machine, the work is not synchronized, or either machine and machine, the work is not synchronized. So let me just give you a simple example of waiting time. Just say, for example, that this particular machine that need 5 minutes to do a work. Before this machine, there's another machine that need 10 minutes to do the work. So now let me tell you what happened. We start the day today. Machine number 1 take 10 minutes to do the work. Machine number 2 take 5 minutes to do the work. Yeah. So we start the day. Machine number 1 we start. It take 10 minutes to do the work and put it for machine number 2. Machine number 2 start to do the work, take 5 minutes, and machine number 1 will continue to do something else, which also take 10 minutes. Then machine number 2 finish the work in 5 minutes, have to wait for machine number 2, which will finish the work in 10 minutes time, have to wait for 5 minutes. Because 5 minutes finish, have to wait for 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes later, machine number 1 finish, give it to machine number 2, then machine number 1 will do another work, which is 10 minutes. Machine number 2 finish work in 5 minutes, have to wait 5 more minutes. So you find that machine number 2, all this finished work in 5 minutes, have to wait 5 more minutes. And guys, that is wasted. Yeah. So guys, what we should do is make machine number 1 do the work in 7.5 minutes, then machine number 2 do the work in 7.5 minutes, then it is synchronized. So you find that in the end, you don't have any kind of waiting time. So it can be a machine or can be man as well. Sometimes you find that in a factory, same thing, you can use the same, I can use the same example. Factory worker number 1 take 10 minutes to do the work, and worker number 2 take 5 minutes to do the work. And once I do my work 5 minutes, I have to wait the other worker to finish the work. I got waiting time. It is wasted. Yeah. So we must make sure there's a lot of synchronization. One more time. Between man and man, man and machine, and machine and machine. So this is when operators are kept waiting, or simply work is slow because of machine cycle times. So this is result from poor coordination, from long changeover. Sometimes you find that one machine need to be maintained, there's a changeover time. The other machine have to wait. Unreliable process. Your process is not very good in how you manufacture. Batch completion. Batch completion is when you make one whole batch. Maybe Apple, they make one station, make a batch of 10 iPhone, then give it to the next stage. Yeah. Then since you make 10 iPhone one batch, this second one need to wait first for the 10 to be made, then you can start to do the work. So rather than making 10, make one, then there's zero waiting time. And sometimes waiting time is also created because of time required to perform rework. Guys, rework means do the work again. So sometimes the work is not done properly, high quality, and we need to take this work and do the work again. And when you do the work again, everyone else cannot do their work. Time is wasted. Yeah. Okay, so guys, this is the 4th ways the company must eliminate. It's called waiting. So I covered overproduction, transport, motion, and waiting time. The 5th ways the company must eliminate is called over processing. Guys, please pay attention. Over processing basically means doing more than what is required. So over processing is putting more into a product than what is required by the customer. So this is a picture, an example of over processing. Just say, for example, this is a car manufacturing company. Guys, can you look at your screen? This is just say, for example, a car manufacturing company. And this guy, his job is to paint the car. And guys, let me tell you, to paint the car, there are 3 coats of paint that need to be painted. The first coat of paint is called the primer coat. Let me spell for you. It's called the primer coat. This normally looks like very brownish color in order to prevent the car from being rust, the metal from being rust. Then the second coat is called the undercoat. This undercoat is to protect the primer coat. And the third coat is what we call the finishing coat. The finishing coat is a shiny paint. Yeah. So this paint, this guy who is painting the car, let me tell you what he do. He paint the car, he paint the primer coat, undercoat, and then paint the finishing coat. But you know what he do? Under the bonnet, I'm sure you know what the bonnet is. In a car, there's a bonnet where you open the bonnet, the engine is over there. And under the bonnet, can you look at me? Also paint the primer coat, second coat undercoat, and third coat finishing coat. But under the bonnet, will anyone see? Nobody will see. So actually under the bonnet, 2 coat of paint is enough. Primer is enough and undercoat is enough. But this person go and paint finishing coat as well, doing more than what is required. And customer never ask for it. Anyway, it's not our specification and so on, and do more. So guys, time will be wasted, effort will be wasted, pain will be wasted, a lot of things will be wasted. Yeah. Or sometimes they make unnecessary tag tolerances. Sometimes they make this car too high quality, but actually the customer don't require this high quality. Because the customer order the car, they require this quality. This is what I say the quality of the car is. In the end, we make unnecessary tag tolerances that this car maybe from 0 to 100 km per hour can actually go in maybe just say 5 seconds, but you make it to be in 4 seconds. So you do, but actually no use. Because the customer never require it, I also never do that as part. So you're doing too much than what is required. Or cleaning and polishing beyond the level required. Maybe for example, this guy as well, after he paint the car already, he need to basically clean the car one time and polish the car one time. That's all. One time. But you know what he do? He wash the car, clean the car one time, clean the car second time, polish one time and polish 2 times. Polish 2 times doesn't mean the car will become more and more shiny. Yeah, so doing more than what is required. So the goal is to do only the level of processing that will be useful and necessary based on what our specifications are or based on what the customer needs. So over processing means just doing whatever is required and not doing more. So many a times over processing is caused by no standardization of best technique. So that's the reason this guy in the car manufacturing plant basically don't have any kind of standard to follow. So other people never paint under the bonnet, but this guy going to paint because there's no procedure. Yeah. So sometimes there's unclear specification and quality accept standards as well, and we just make higher quality than what is required. So it's very important that we have all the specification, we have all the standardized procedures, then we follow this, then over processing will not occur. Yeah. The 6th ways is what we call inventory. Guys, inventory means stock. Some companies, they order too much of stock than what is required. And sometimes they never use this stock. So let me just give you a very simple example of inventory. Just say this particular mobile phone company, every week they sell 100 mobile phone, but the raw material they order, the stock they order is 150 for that week. So they use 150 raw materials to make the 100 mobile phone because they sell 100, but they order 150. So what happened to the extra 50? End up in the warehouse. So that's called inventory waste, which means they ordered too much of inventory than what is required. Yeah. And guys, I think I mentioned on our first lesson before, if just say this inventory is a perishable item. Perishable item means it will have expiry date. Yeah. For example, Starbucks, whenever they, of course, Starbucks, they have cake and so on as well. They have cakes and so on. Maybe they order too much of flour, too much of sugar. These are perishable items, have expiry date. Then they put in their storeroom. Then you find in the end they make cakes and so on. Then in the end they never use all this inventory. All will become spoiled because expiry date already they need to throw away. All wasted. Yeah. So some inventories are of course perishable, some are not perishable. Guys, let me tell you, even not perishable, it is wasted. Because when a company order more inventory, they need to store this inventory in their warehouse. Does this warehouse cost money? Guys, today rental is very expensive in every country. You find that in the end, I need to have a warehouse to store this extra inventory that I never use. You find that in the end, it is wasted. Yeah. So guys, what companies do today is they order inventory by JIT. I type on the group chat. Anyone can tell me what does JIT stands for? There are 22 of you logged in. No one answer? Okay, thank you very much, Chrisma, Lu Kui Chow, and Wee Cheng Wen. Okay, it stands for just in time. Exactly. Thank you very much. Guys, just in time basically means I order just in time whatever I require and I don't order more. So guys, very simple. If just say I'm a company making a certain kind of product, if I make 100, just say I'm making a mobile phone, if I make 100 iPhone per week, I just order 100 raw material. So I order 100 raw material for this week and I manufacture. Next week I order another 100 material and I make 100 mobile phone. Next week I order another 100 raw material and all these raw material, different raw material, I order 100 and I make my 100 mobile phone and I sell. Of course, I may order a little bit of buffer. Don't order too much, but some companies they may order a bit of buffer. Why? Because I told you there's fluctuation of demand and so on. So sometimes any customer buy more, I can quickly take my buffer inventory and make a bit more of mobile phone, but not too much. Yeah. Some companies really the best is they make it zero. But guys, let me tell you, if just say I'm a company making a certain kind of product, when I order raw materials, if I order raw materials in bulk, let me spell bulk for you. If I order raw materials in bulk, which means in large quantity, from a supplier, will they give me discount? Of course, they'll give me discount. So if just say I'm making a mobile phone, I'm a company making mobile phone. If I make 100 phones per day, say if I make 100 phones per week, but if I order 500 raw material from a supplier for my 5 weeks, they'll give me discount. And sometimes the discount can be huge. But if I order 100, 100, 100 every week, I'm not going to get discount. Yeah. So guys, let me tell you what companies are doing today. Today, what companies are doing, if just say I'm a company that make mobile phone and I make 100 mobile phone per week, just say for example, I will order 500 raw material. Because when I order 500 from a supplier, the supplier will give me a very good discount. So I will order 500. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell the supplier, please don't deliver all. Please stagger your delivery. So I'm going to order 500 raw material from you, but only make 100 mobile phone per week. So I say, can you for the first week deliver to me 100 raw material? Then the second week you deliver another 100. Then the third week you deliver another 100, then another 100, then another 100. So I will still order 500, but I tell the supplier to stagger the delivery. You deliver over 5 times. Yeah? Guys, if this supplier deliver 1 time, there's 1 transportation cost. But if they deliver 5 times, don't forget there's 5 transportation costs. But guys, I just want to tell you today, rental is much, much more expensive than transportation. So rather than buying 500 store in my warehouse, I might as well order in bulk from my customer. I get a very huge discount. Then this discount that I get, I use the money to have the 5 delivery. I still save a lot of money. Yeah. So that is what companies are doing today in JIT. Okay, I'll just explain very, very briefly, but let me tell you this JIT, they use a Kanban system and many, many systems the companies use today in order to make sure that they do everything just in time. And yet, they save a lot of money. So guys, that is the 6 ways that company must eliminate is called inventory. Lastly, the 7th ways that company must eliminate is called defects. Guys, defects basically means when company make a certain product or they offer a certain kind of service, they do it right the first time and they don't do something which is defective or something which is wrong. Let me just give you a simple example of defect. Let me use the same example like a mobile phone. If I'm a company which make mobile phone, in my manufacturing process, in the end, I make a mobile phone which is defective. You know what I need to do? Firstly, I need to investigate where maybe this mobile phone I make, I get my final mobile phone cannot on, defective. Yep, I just make only, but cannot on. Then I need to investigate why cannot on. Once I know why cannot on, then maybe I bring it to station number 6 and I repair so that in the end, I make this product, there's 0 defect that I can on already. So guys, when a company make defective products, let me tell you, they need to do rework. So I take this mobile phone, I put to station number 7 as I mentioned just now, and I repair. When I repair, I waste time, I waste effort, and I waste money, and everyone else cannot do their work. Yeah. So guys, defect is also a very huge kind of waste that every company must eliminate. And I always talk about product company. Let me talk about service company, for example. One more time, service company means like airlines, restaurants, and so on. Some restaurants, they also have defect. Sometimes customer order a certain kind of dish and they say maybe, for example, they order this particular food dish and they say they don't want chili or maybe they don't want this particular ingredient, and you find that the kitchen in the end make the dish which is wrong and put chili inside and so on and deliver to customer. Then customer say, I told you I don't want this and so on, you give me the wrong thing, it's defective. So what the restaurant have to do now? Throw this away, make a new one, wasted. Waste time, waste effort, waste money. Yeah. So companies today must make sure that they eliminate defects. And eliminating defects means they do it right the first time, and they do it right the first time which is high quality according to the customer requirement. Don't make too high quality, cannot make low quality for sure, just make the quality that the customer need. Yeah. So every company must make sure that they eliminate defects, because when you do rework, because defects need to do rework. Yeah. And when we do rework, we waste time, effort, and money for sure. Okay, so I just covered these are 7 ways that company must eliminate. Anyone have all these 5 and so on, they are the one who come up with all these things in order to make sure that we eliminate waste, be very, very lean in operation, and make sure that we make high quality and so on. And it all starts with Toyota. Let me tell you, Toyota is a company in Japan. They started a lot of things in quality management, in lean management, etc. And they have come up with fantastic system. That's the reason the whole world are following. Yep. So one more time, another way how company can make their operation very, very lean is to implement the 5S. But don't worry, these 5S in Japanese, we have converted to English. So Seiri means sort, Seton means straighten, Seiso means shine, Sketsu means standardize, and Shitsuka means sustain. And you can see when we convert to English, it's also S. Yeah, okay, so coincidentally, we're able to convert to English, and all 5 are S as well. So guys, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to explain to you how company can use this 5S as part of their operation, one more time, to be lean operation. And again, what does lean mean? Less, 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 to only produce what is required for the customer. So let me explain to you this 5S. The first S is what we call sort. Sort is basically to eliminate all the unnecessary items. So eliminate what is not needed, unnecessary, and only keep what is needed. So unnecessary refers to those things which are not needed for your current work, you eliminate. And you only keep what is needed for your current work. So you only keep only things which are required in doing your job. What is not required, you don't keep. So guys, let me give you a simple example of sort. Just say for example, I'm a factory worker and there are 10 tools in front of me, 10. But for my current job, I only require 5 tools. So there are 10 tools, maybe a hammer, a screwdriver, or what, a saw, whatever it is. There are 10 tools down there. Yeah, but to do my current job, I only need 5 tools. So what I should do in sort is the other 5 tools which I don't require, I'm going to take these 5 tools and put in the cabinet. Then only the 5 which I require, I put in front of me. So guys, that's called sort. Because if I have the 10 tools there, when I do my work, I may actually go and take the wrong tool and I do the work wrongly. I waste time, effort and money again. Yeah. So one more time, sort basically means anything which is unnecessary, you eliminate. In future, if you need it, you can take it back again. You put in a cabinet. Only what is necessary, you put in front of you. Yeah. So that's called sort. Guys, I'm sure you do sort in your home as well. I'm sure you have your study table, and this is your term number 4. I know you had modules like EPGE, you had modules like HRM, you have modules like marketing, DADM, and so on. I do not know. Do you all study DADM? Or I think changed already. Did you all study a module called DADM? Yes or no? Okay, no, sorry. So I think yours changed already. You don't have DADM anymore. Okay, never mind. I know you have HRM. I know you have economics. I know you have marketing and so on. So guys, on your study table today, you're in term number 4. Are your marketing notes still there? Are your economics notes still there? Are your HRM notes still there? It should not be there. Because this term, you have 2 modules, OM and BS. So you only should have your OM and BM notes and your textbook on your table. So all your economics, all your HRM and so on, you should take and put it into a cabinet. Yeah, so that's called sort, because you should not have all these where you're not using it. Okay, but at home, of course, there's not much of a problem, but in the workplace, let me tell you, we waste time, effort, and money. Okay, but I just want to illustrate to you what does sort means. After sort, the second S is what we call straighten. Straighten basically means we are going to position things in such a way that they can be easily reached whenever they are needed. So here we're going to arrange items so that they can be found quickly by anyone. So guys, in simple terms, straighten basically means if just say I'm the factory worker just now, I needed my 5 tools, so the other 5 I eliminate already, and I use these 5 tools to do my current work. But 2 of the tools I use more frequently, and 3 of the tools I use less frequently. So what I'm going to do is, these 2 tools which I use more frequently, I'm going to put in front of me. The other 3 tools which I use less frequently, I'm going to put further away from me. Yeah, so guys, that's called straighten. So when I do my work, because the 2 tools which I use very frequently, I can take the tool and do. Then the one which I use less frequently, of course, I need to reach out a little bit and take and do my work. It's much better. So what you need, you put near you. What you need less frequently, you put further away from you. And some companies, they even do color coding. So you can see this is a factory worker, for example, and you can see these are the tools that he used. He even color code. The screwdriver is yellow color. Electrical tools are normally green color. Sharp tools are normally red color. And you can see they do color coding. Yeah. And maybe this saw he used less frequently, so he put further. Maybe this he used more frequently, he put nearer. Maybe this is a board, so you need to reach out to the saw will be further, but the electric drill you use more frequently, you put nearer. So guys, that's a simple example of straighten. What you need more often, you put nearer. What you need less often, you put further away. Same thing guys in your home as well. I'm sure you straighten. I'm sure you have a study table. What is near you? Your computer. Because that's what you do all the time. Use your computer. Then maybe your notes you put a bit more further. Your textbook you put a little bit more further. But I know you all never buy textbook. Okay, never mind. You should have a textbook as well. But I know you all never buy. So guys, what you need near, so what you use more frequently, you put near you, less you put further away. That's simple. That's what we call straighten. The third S is what we call shine. Shine basically means keep things clean and tidy. Where there's no refuse, no dirt, no rubbish, we must make sure we shine. So this is very easy to understand. Shine means clean, have neatness as much as possible. So for example, the factory worker while doing work, maybe you find that when he do the work, suddenly some oil spill. So I must make sure that if the oil spill are immediately clean. Because if I don't clean, I myself may go and slip and fall, cause accident. Then a lot of things will be wasted. Or another worker, if I never clean, may slip and fall, get into accident, will fall. A lot of things will be wasted. Yeah. And guys, many companies, in order to shine, you know what they do? They use a 5-minute shine. Let me give you an example, a tool which is called a 5-minute shine. Just say, for example, I'm running a factory, and this factory have 8-hour shift. So they work 24 hours a day. First shift is 8 hours, second shift 8 hours, third shift is 8 hours. Yeah, they work 24 hours a day. But one shift is 8 hours. So now let me tell you what the worker will do. When this worker come for shift number 1, start work, the shift is 8-hour shift. But the worker will work 7 hours 55 minutes. So after working for 7 hours 55 minutes, the last 5 minutes will stop work already. The last 5 minutes will clean up. Shine. Yep. So the next worker who come for the second shift, everything is clean. Then this second worker also work 8-hour shift, but he worked for 7 hours 55 minutes. So work for 7 hours 55 minutes, the last 5 minutes spend time in order to clean. So the next shift worker who come, everything is clean. But in between, if there's anything that spill or whatever it is, anything become dirty, we need to clean as well. But we must make sure we do shine, so in the end, we take care of the health, make sure that in the end, the accidents and so on do not happen and productivity increases. Yeah, okay, so that's just an example of shine. Guys, I'm sure you do shine at home as well. I'm sure your study table, sometimes you buy a mobile phone, you have the box, sometimes you buy a power bank, you have the box, sometimes you buy food to eat. I'm sure your styrofoam box are not on your table. I hope you clean every day. You may not clean immediately, never mind. I know my children don't do that as well. When I go to my children's room, I say, wow, the table is so messy. But I tell them, end of the day, before you sleep, you better shine. Yep. Okay, I hope you do as well. Okay, so maybe you don't need to do the whole day. Okay, but you can do a 5-minute shine as well before you sleep. Spend 5 minutes in order to clean up. Yeah, it's always a good habit. Okay, so I covered sort, straighten, and shine. The fourth S is what we call standardize. Guys, standardize is to maintain cleanliness in order to have perpetual neatness. This is not just clean, neat, but is to have perpetual neatness, and that is called standardize. Standardize is very important because anybody who do the work in a company will know how the job needs to be done because I come up with standardized way in order to do work. One example of standardized is SOP. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedure. So if just I'm a factory worker, I'm doing a certain kind of work, maybe what the factory should do is they should come up with a standard operating procedure. Step number 1, do this. Step number 2, do this. Step number 3, do this. Step number 4, do this. Step number 5, do this. And put in front of me. And I follow this step in order to do my work. So everyone do this standardized way of doing the work. Nobody do different. And you find that in the end, we can save a lot of time, effort, and money. Because, of course, we are not going to do different way. We need to do rework, etc. So that's called standardized. Yep. And I'm sure you do standardize at home as well. Guys, I hope your computer, PC do not look like this, where you got tons and tons of folder and all the tons and tons of file, that sometimes when you need to find a file is very difficult. Yeah. So guys, I know you are in this UCD program. So what you can do is you can put term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4, term 5, term 6 folder. Then term 1, you have HRM folder inside, a subfolder inside, and you have your economics folder, subfolder inside. Then under each and every one, you have all your assignment, blah, blah, all your notes, etc. Then term 2, you have your another 2 modules, you have your subfolder inside as well. It's more easy to find all your documentation. So this is another example of doing some kind of standardization. And guys, in a company, this is how a shared drive looks like. In a company, maybe they have a shared drive, and if it looks like this, it will be very difficult for everyone to find some file. But if you come up with some standardized folder, for example, our company, we make folder based on customer. So all the customer who place order, I make one folder for customer A, customer B. Actually, I put the customer name. This is customer name. Then, for example, under the folder, I put 2020. And under 2020 subfolder, all the projects given, I have subfolder. Then everybody can easily find. Yeah. Okay. So I think you can imagine what standardized mean, and we can save a lot of time, effort, and money as well as part of standardization. So I covered sort, straighten, shine, and standardize. The fifth S is what we call sustain. Guys, sustain basically means is to make this entire 5S, the first 4S and this last S sustain as a habit of what we do every day. Guys, no use if today I sort, I straighten, I shine, and I standardize, next week I don't do anymore. Yeah, no use. So guys, sustain basically means we must make sure we make this 4S plus this sustain a habit that we do each and every day, we do each and every week, we do each and every month, we do each and every year. Yeah, so we must make sure it becomes something like a habit that we do this every day. So that's called sustain. Yeah, and many companies, let me tell you how they sustain. They have a visual management board showing a 5S audit. For example, we are a department and we have a board, an audit board. So when we start the day today, after everybody sort, they put a tick. After everybody straighten, they put a tick. After everybody shine, they do their shift, they put a tick. After everybody do standardize, they put a tick. So guys, which means we sustain everything. Yeah. So this is a visualized management board in order to make sure it forces us, because we need to put a tick, 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 tick there, tick, 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 tick there, tick, 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 tick there. So we will be sustaining all the time. Yeah. Some company have a slogan. So they put in their company, their department, slogan. Every day, please practice the 5S. So when I do my work, I better do. I better do. Yeah. So sometimes they have slogans, they have handbooks and so on, in order to remind employees that this is what we do all the time. And many companies, as part of the 5S sustain, they also implement Pokayoke. One more time, this is a Japanese term. Guys, Pokayoke, Poka stands for mistake, Yoke stands to avoid. So in simple term, it means to avoid mistake. So many companies, as part of their 5S, what they do is they make sure that they don't make mistakes, so that in the end, they are always practicing this 5S. Guys, let me give you some very general example of Pokayoke. Let me give you a general example. Yeah. One general example of Pokayoke in your everyday life is something like a washing machine. The washing machine will not work with the door open to prevent laundry tsunami in your house. Guys, I do not know whether you do your own laundry or not. Try in your house, when you open the washing machine, the lid, you put in your clothes. Yeah. If you haven't closed the lid, you press the start button, it will not start. Why? Because if this machine, you press the start button is start, you find that the laundry will start to go around, boom. All the soap will come out, all the water will come out, it will cause a tsunami in your home. So guys, this is called Pokayoke. What they do is they put a sensor inside the washing machine that only when you close the lid, then you press start, then only it will on. And guys, even you close the lid, you press start, it on, halfway through you open the lid, it will stop by itself. Because the sensor detect, it will stop by itself. So this is an example of Pokayoke. You'll never make a mistake. Why? Because only when you close, tsunami will not happen no matter what. Okay, tsunami as in water coming out, make your entire place wet and so on. So it will never happen. So many companies, as part of their Fifth S, they make sure that they have something poka-yoke that they don't make mistakes at all. Guys, let me give you one more example of poka-yoke. Another example is a child-resistant cap for medicine bottles and chemicals to keep curious children from consuming them. Guys, if you buy a medicine bottle, many a times, this kind of medicine bottle, if you look at a screen, if you turn, cannot open. Why? Because in order to open this medicine bottle, how to open? You need to press down, then only you can open. So this, they make it that children don't just take the bottle, because children don't have energy to force down. They don't have strength. So they will not be able to do that, and they also don't know. So they try to turn, they cannot open. Yep. So they will not take this medicine or chemical for safety. So that's the reason you will never make mistakes, because these children will never. So you don't have to worry. Just put your bottle there, because you know that to open is this way, but the children don't know, and they don't have strength anyway. So this is another example of poka-yoke to make sure that in the end we don't make mistakes. Yeah. So guys, let me give you an example of poka-yoke in company. Let me use Starbucks as an example. Just as Starbucks, they have a coffee machine when they make coffee for customer. If the cup is not put at the coffee machine, when they press the button to brew the coffee, if the cup is not placed there because there's a sensor, you press the button, it will not work. Yeah. So this is to make sure that in the end, we sustain, if everything is very clean, everything is sorted out and so on. So this is part of the 5S as well. Only when you put the paper cup there, or a cup on the coffee machine, any kind of cup, there's a sensor that detects, then only you start the machine, it will brew, then the coffee will start to come out. So this is another example, maybe in the industry, how they make sure that whatever they can do in their company, that they try to use poka-yoke, that in the end we don't make mistakes in the first place, we try to do as much as possible. Yeah, okay, so one more time, poka-yoke is part of the 5S as part of sustain. So let me summarize what I covered today. Today I covered number 1, what is basically lean operation. And one more time, I want to reiterate, lean operation basically or simply means we try to use less and less as much as possible in order to make sure that whatever we do is according to the customer need, and also not more than what the customer need and not less than what the customer need. Secondly, I explained to you what is muda, mura, and muri. Muda means we should not use more than what is required. Mura, we must make sure that in the end there's no unevenness, and muri, we must make sure there's no overburden or overload. So that is another part of lean the company must implement. The third thing I covered is every company in operations management, they must make sure that they eliminate 7 waste. The 7 waste, number 1 is called overproduction. Number 2 is called transportation movement of material. Number 3 is called motion movement of people. Number 4 is called waiting time. We must make sure we eliminate waiting time. Number 5 is over-processing, which means doing more than whatever is required. Number 6 is inventory. We must make sure that in the end we do just in time, have the right inventory. And number 7 is defect. Because if we have defect, we are going to waste time, effort, and money. So we must do it right the first time. The fourth thing I covered today is basically another way how companies can basically have lean operation is to basically do 5S. The 5S, one more time, number 1 is sort, number 2 is straighten, number 3 is shine, number 4 is standardize, and number 5 is sustain. The last S, sustain, is to make sure that we practice this 5S all the time. Guys, those of you who are Singaporeans, or maybe some of you who are even not Singaporeans, you may know that about 2 or 3 years ago, somewhere there, our Singapore SMRT, we had a lot of problems. We had breakdown, MRT breakdown, every time it break down. Yeah? And let me tell you what SMRT did. No choice, they had to do something. They implemented 5S in their organization. I'm not joking. They implemented sort, straighten, shine, standardize, sustain. They come up with a standardized way how to do maintenance of their trains. They make sure that in the end they come up with sort of how work is done, how things are done, and so on. Then what we need, we put there. What we don't need, we put it aside, and so on. And I'm not joking. This came out even in our Singapore newspapers that SMRT implemented one more time the 5S, and after they did that, the breakdown start to become less. Okay, we do have a bit of breakdown today, but during that time, there were breakdown after breakdown after breakdown. Yeah, and guys, in my opinion, they should have implemented 5S even before, and made sure this breakdown wouldn't have happened in the first place. Yeah. So no choice, but at least they did something after that. They implemented the 5S, and it really worked for them. Okay, hopefully in future we have zero breakdown. Guys, if you go to Japan, the train just function. And if you go to Japan, the trains, my god, they're bullet trains and everything. And they're much, much more complicated than Singapore, the train network. And they do not have breakdown. Yeah, Singapore so small, and we had. Yeah, because the Japanese, they have all these systems in the first place. Okay, so I just wanted to give you an example of 5S as well, of how SMRT implemented. Anyone have any questions? Okay, if you do not have any question, maybe we can go for a break and we start again at 3 questions. Question number 1, I want you to explain what is Muda, Mura, and Muri. Okay, this is no need to be very detailed. Please refer to this slide and you explain what Muda means what, Mura means what, Muri means what. Yeah, so you can try to look at this. Don't copy and paste, try to answer in your own words a little bit. So try to read and then answer in your own words. Okay, that's question number 1. Question number 2, based on McDonald's operation, you need to explain 7 types of ways that McDonald's need to eliminate in their lean operation. So let me use one example. You can say McDonald's, so the first kind of waste is called overproduction. So you explain what overproduction is. You say overproduction means company producing more than what is required. Then after, I want you to tell me how McDonald's in their operation. Think of McDonald's when they run their restaurant. Not their HQ, not their office and so on, but a McDonald's outlet. You tell me how McDonald's can try to avoid or eliminate overproduction. So if I were to give an example, you say what McDonald's can do is they should not anyhow produce as many burgers and French fries as possible. Then that's called overproduction. Then if they are unable to sell within the next 10 minutes, they need to throw away because it becomes soggy already. If I'm not wrong, in McDonald's, 7 minutes, they cannot sell the fries anymore. And I think about 14 minutes, somewhere they cannot sell the burger anymore. So that's how you explain that McDonald's should not make overproduction of their burger or their fries because if not, it becomes soggy, then it will be wasted. Then the second kind of waste, you say transportation. Then you tell me what transportation waste is and what how McDonald's can eliminate. Give me an example of transportation waste. So you explain all the 7 ways. Next 2B, you need to tell me how McDonald's can utilize 5S in lean operation. So you tell me how McDonald's can sort, how they can straighten, how they can shine, maybe how they can standardize, and maybe how they can sustain. When you explain, please explain in terms of McDonald's. Don't explain generally. Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to do the same as what I've been doing all the time. I'll switch off my webcam and my microphone, but I will be in front of my PC. Then you do this question. You want me to check whatever you have written, you post on the group chat privately, or you can finish everything, then you email to me. Don't email to me one part. Finish everything, then you email to me. Then once I have time, I will read and I'll reply to you. Yeah, so you can finish up by now. Even if you finish at 5 p.m., email to me. If you work at night, you finish at midnight, email to me by tonight. Yeah. Yeah, for 2A, all the 7 ways. So overproduction, you tell me how McDonald's in a certain way can eliminate overproduction. Transportation, you tell me, maybe this is what McDonald's can do to eliminate transportation waste. Yeah? So you need to like recommend how McDonald's can eliminate these 7 ways. Any other questions you all have? Okay, if no questions, let's start doing. As I mentioned, now it's only almost about 2:10 only. We have till 3 p.m. A lot of time. So I want all of you to answer these 3 questions. And I do not know whether I told you tutorials are very important, but because after I teach, when you do, you understand better. Yeah, and you will be able to remember better as well, especially for your examination. Okay, let's start doing this. If you need any help, just message to me.